Have you ever told yourself, starting today, I am only going to think in English? And then, 10 seconds later, you were translating again, just like before. You tried it in the morning, you tried it during lunch, you even tried it while walking down the street. And every single time, your brain quietly switched back to translating. Why does that happen? If thinking in English is supposed to be the goal, why does forcing it never seem to work? Today, we are going to decode that mystery, and it is the last mystery in this week's trilogy. I'm Alice, and welcome to English Decoding. On day 1, we talked about why translating slows you down. On day 2, we opened up the machine and saw the long road your brain takes. Today, we look at the most common fix people try and why it usually backfires. It is not because you do not want it enough. It is not because your motivation is weak. And it is not because you are somehow resistant to English. It is because thinking in English is not a switch you can flip. It is a result, not a starting point. Let me show you what I mean. Remember the busy road from yesterday? Your brain, full of cars, full of traffic, just trying to get one idea from one side to the other. Now imagine someone parks a police car right in the middle of that road. Every few seconds, it stops the traffic and asks, "Are you thinking in English right now? Are you sure? Check again." That police car does not remove any cars. It adds a brand new job, watching yourself, on top of a road that was already busy. And the longer that police car stays parked there, the more normal it starts to feel, even though it was never necessary in the first place. That is exactly what happens when you force yourself to think in English. You are not only trying to communicate anymore, you are also monitoring whether you are doing it correctly. And that monitoring takes energy, the same energy your brain needs for the actual thinking. Think about it this way. Imagine trying to cook dinner while someone stands behind you, asking every few seconds, "Are you cooking correctly? Are you sure that is the right amount of salt? Check again." Even if you already know how to cook, that voice alone would make you slower, more nervous, and more likely to make mistakes. Forcing yourself to think in English creates exactly that voice, except now it lives inside your own head. Now, this does not mean effort is useless. Practice still matters a lot, but practice does not mean standing guard over your own thoughts. Practice means doing small exercises that quietly remove translation, the kind we have been doing all week. The effort goes into removing the blockage, not into forcing the outcome. So here is the real secret, and it connects everything we have decoded this week. Thinking in English is not something you force. It is something that happens quietly in the background once translation stops blocking the road. In other words, the goal was never think in English. The goal was always stop translating. Once translation gets out of the way, thinking in English does not need an invitation. It just shows up. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Imagine someone trying very hard. They see a cup, and instead of just saying, "I want tea," they pause. Wait, am I thinking in English right now? Let me check. Is this real English thinking, or am I still translating a little? And while they are checking, the sentence disappears completely. Now imagine a different person. They see the same cup. They do not check anything. They just say, "I want tea." No inspection, no checkpoint. The idea and the English arrive together because nobody stopped the traffic to ask questions. That is the entire difference. One person is guarding the road. The other person is simply walking on it. Here is another version of the same story. Someone is texting a friend in English. A simple message arrives, "Are you free tonight?" Instead of just answering, the forced thinker pauses. How do I think about free in English? Is this how a real English thinker would phrase it? By the time they finish checking, the moment already feels heavy and the message sits unanswered. Someone else, not forcing anything, simply types, "Yes, free after 7. No checking, no inspection, just the idea moving straight into English. This is also why forcing yourself to think in English can feel more stressful than translating ever did. You added a guard, and guards make everyone nervous, including you. And if you are wondering, no, real fluent speakers do not stand guard like this either. A young child learning a first language does not check whether a thought counts as real thinking. They simply speak, and the language quietly catches up behind them. You are not behind. You are only removing a guard that should never have been hired in the first place. Now let's practice this directly, but in a new way. This is not about building bigger sentences. This is about noticing one thing only: the moment your brain reaches for translation. I will describe a small scene from daily life. Do not build a careful sentence. Just feel the idea, catch yourself if you start translating, let it go, and say the English directly. Are you ready? Let's begin. Your phone is ringing. Catch the translation and let it go. Phone, it is ringing. You see your friend across the street. And catch it, release it. Hey, over here. You forgot something at home. Just release it. Oh no, I forgot it. Someone gives you good news. That is great. I am happy. You feel hungry before lunch. I am hungry. Almost lunchtime. Excellent. Did you feel that? You did not build a careful sentence. You felt the idea, and you let the English come without inspection. That is exactly what thinking in English actually feels like. Not a special mode you switch into, just translation getting out of the way. Let's try one more round, a little faster this time. No more instructions now, just the scene and your direct answer. The bus is late. Again. You spilled your coffee. Oh no, my coffee. Your favorite song comes on. I love this song. Perfect. Notice something interesting there. You were not thinking about grammar. You were not thinking about translation. You were simply reacting in English the same way you react in any language. That reaction is what real thinking in English looks like. It is small, it is fast, and it never needed permission. Let's slow down one more time and stretch these answers just a little. Your favorite show is starting. It is starting. I do not want to miss it. You just got an idea for a new project. I have an idea. I should write it down. You hear it might rain later. It might rain. I should take a jacket. Wonderful. Did you notice the answers got a little longer, but the feeling stayed exactly the same? No checkpoint, no inspection. Just the idea arriving in English a little more naturally each time. Before we connect everything from this week, here is a small invitation. You are already a decoder. If you want to keep decoding with us, you already know where to find us. And if you want one more round of practice, leave it in the comments. One small idea from your day, just like we practiced. Coffee, tired, rain, anything works. We will be reading them. Now let's connect everything from this week. On day 1, we said, stop translating. On day 2, we saw why translating creates a long, slow road in your brain. And today, we discovered that thinking in English was never something to force. It was simply what happens once you stop translating. That is the whole secret of this week, hiding in plain sight since the very first video. 3 days ago, translating felt invisible. Today, you can see it, name it, and let it go. That is not a small thing. That is the actual skill underneath everything people call fluency. And that is what makes you a decoder, not just a learner. You are not trying to force a new language into your head. You are decoding how meaning and English already connect, one small idea at a time. So here is your only homework for the weekend. Do not try to think in English. Just notice, gently, when you are translating and let it go. That is all. The rest takes care of itself. If you want a simple way to practice this, borrow the 10-second rule from day 1. 3 times today, pause for 10 seconds. Notice one thought. If it started in your first language, do not panic and do not force anything. Just let it go and let the English version arrive on its own, even if it is small. That is it for this week here at English Decoding. We will be back Monday with a brand new topic. If these 3 videos helped you even a little, hit subscribe, so the next mystery finds you automatically on Monday, and you become one of the very first decoders in this community. Until then, keep noticing your own translating moments and keep letting them go. I'm Alice. See you Monday.